Welcome everybody to Tell 'em. Today we're going to be breaking down a tweet from Call of Duty that was tweeted today, and it's a bio of Shadows of Evil, and it is jam-packed with a lot of information, but unfortunately we're not going to break down the whole thing because there's just one part that needs a whole video to itself, and that is what this video is. If you guys want to see the full breakdown of the rest of the stuff inside this tweet, go ahead and tell me down in the comments, even though I'll probably make it anyways. And also, Call of Duty has been actually tweeting out a whole bunch of bios for our 4 characters and origins. So if you guys want to see those bios broken down, go ahead and tell me down in the comments. I'll probably make it into one video because there's not that much not face value information inside there. So without further delay, let's get into it. Now, I'm just going to read the specific part that we are actually going to be talking about. Richtofen began to set his grand plans in motion. Armed with the knowledge gained from the Kronorium, excuse me. I wanted to call it the summoning key, who knows why. Now, this Kronorium, we have finally got a name to where Richtofen got his knowledge from, which I am happy about, but again, upset with myself because, remember, what was our answer before where he got his knowledge from? What did they say? From his travels. And what I'm upset about is that I was satisfied with that answer. He got it from his travels. Man, if I could travel, I'd know everything too. Oh my gosh. I'm just so upset with myself that I was satisfied with the answer of his travels. I'm getting off topic. Now that we actually have a name for it, is just so exciting because we can actually break down this word and try to figure out what it means exactly, because if you guys are unaware, this is not an actual word. You can Google search it yourself. It's just nothing will pop up. What we're going to do, we're going to look at the words around it first to kind of give us hints at it. So it says the Kronorium. I'm pretty sure we can guarantee that this is a noun, so a person, place, or thing, but it is not a person, so it's probably a place or thing. So why is it not a person? Because it says the Kronorium, and you do not say the Bob. That just doesn't make sense. The George. It's just, no, you don't do that in English. It's improper English. It's not a person, but it's rather a place or a thing. Now, how are we going to figure out what this is exactly? What we're going to do, we're going to break this word down into 2 separate parts and try to look at their origin of these spellings. So the first thing we're going to break it into is to Kronor, and then the second part, ium. First, let's look ium. It's a suffix, and what exactly is this mainly used for? It's actually very popular among elements. So we have so many elements called like sodium, unapentium, that's element 115, probably I pronounced it terribly wrong. Einsteinium, that's a real element if you guys didn't know, but it's just very popular among elements. Do I personally believe that this is an element? Not at all. I don't think they'll introduce another element besides element 115. Of course they could if they want to. I just don't think that's what this is, because you can't exactly gain knowledge from an element. That just doesn't make sense. So, anyways, moving on. If it's not an element, then what can this suffix also be used for? So, if you think about it, there's actually a place that a lot of people have been, and it's called the Aquarium. Again, it's used there again. Well, not again, just used there. So, it can also be relatable to a place. And also, people just like to use this just to make their words sound like I guess a scientific word. It can be used like that too. I don't think that's the case. Now that we got an idea that this is probably relatable to a place, so this can be a place possibly, but we don't know that for sure. Let's go to the first part, Kronor. Now Kronor is actually relatable to 2 Greek entities, and the first one we're going to be talking about is Kronos. Now Kronos, some of you may or may not know who he is, because he is the dad of Zeus, or is the father of Zeus, I should say, and he is actually very similar to what Zeus did to his dad. So his father was Uranus, and Uranus was the ruler of the universe. So what happened, I'm not going to get into details because this is kind of weird how he exactly killed Uranus, but so what he did, he went and killed Uranus and pretty much took his place as ruler of the universe because he was jealous of him and all that good stuff. And he also took his sister Rhea, I don't know if we'll just pronounce it like that, Rhea. And him and his sister Rhea were king and queen. As the time they ruled, it was called the Golden Age, and people had no need for laws or rules, and everyone just did the right thing. What does this mean? So if you were going to use this as a word, you're probably going to use this as I guess the almighty ruler, I guess you can call it, because this is pretty much, I guess you would call just the main god, I guess you would call it. So you just have this ultimate power. We'll just call it the ultimate power. And if this is true, that this is what it is, so you could say it's the ultimate power. So if it is a book, so we're going to look at it as a thing first. So let's just to simplify it even more, that it is a book. So as a book about ultimate power, or the book could give you ultimate power. But the problem I have with this is that, remember, he gained knowledge from it. So yeah, you can gain knowledge about all this ultimate power, but is that actually going to help you on this guy's journey? Remember, what his knowledge after this is actually, he knows about the summoning key, he knows about everything. This is where he learned about the summoning key. Is that actually going to teach you about it? Possibly, but I doubt. Why is ultimate power even talking about the summoning key? Of course, you can argue that the summoning key is the most powerful artifact in all the universes, and it is relatable. That is true, but I just find it not exactly what we're talking about here. Again, this is a possibility too, but it just doesn't sound like it to me. Next, we can look at it as a place. So if this is a place of ultimate power, this actually sounds very, very like Richtophens we've had in the past. Richthofen wanted to rule everything and just have this ultimate power. If that's true, then if he had this ultimate power in this place for him, why did he leave? It doesn't make sense. If he had this ultimate power, why not just do everything with your ultimate power instead of took off and decided to go do it physically yourself? Yeah, that just seems like the worst possible idea, if you ask me. It just doesn't seem like something. Next, we're talking about the next Greek entity we're going to be talking about, and Kronos. And these names, Kronos, excuse me. Kronos and Cronus, their names sound very similar. And I do apologize. I'll probably have on screen who I'm talking about exactly, just for you guys won't be confused when if I start talking back and forth about them. So Kronos is what he is. He's a Greek entity, and he is the personification of time itself. So let's think about it. If you have a time, so let's just say time itself. So this book is teaching you about time, so probably about the past, maybe even the future and the present. So you have this knowledge about everything, which makes so much sense. This is actual knowledge. You don't really gain knowledge from ultimate power for like Kronos. You are gaining knowledge from time. That makes so much sense if you were looking at a book of this time that has all time in general. You can read about time in what even makes more sense. What if this is a place? If this is a place, then what could you actually do? So if you're in this place that can show you all of time, then that will help so much. If Richthofen can see all of time, it would make sense, because Richthofen says, I know my future, you barely future. And all these quotes would make so much sense, because he doesn't actually have power there, but he just knows everything beforehand. And it makes sense where he gets all this knowledge from. It just makes so much sense if this was a place. Of course, it also makes sense if it was a book. I want to actually ask you guys, which one do you guys think it is? Do you think it's Kronos of power, or do you think it's Kronos of time? Either one can possibly make sense. It's just theories about now. But personally, it sounds more logical to me that it's Kronos. So there is actually something else. This is from Mr. Ruffles Waffles. I did also see it, but he released it first. He got it before me, even though I didn't look at his video before I found this, but I just went to GreekMythology.com and found this, and I went and watched his video after, and he had the same thing in it, and he came up with this brilliant theory. So I just wanted to kind of not really echo it, because I did also find it without watching his video in advance, but let's just stop talking about this. So this is actually something I want to read. According to the Alpha cult, I guess we'll call it that, Kronos gave birth to the Ether. Remember the Ether? This thing is such a popular thing inside the zombie storyline. So it'd make even more sense why they're talking about Kronos, because Kronos is the father of the Ether. And what Ether is, if you guys have any idea what Ether is that the Ether is the upper air. Ether is just a name for the personification in Greek mythology of the upper air. I'm going to continue reading this because he says he gave birth to Ether and Chaos. Well, Chaos, I don't think really has anything yet to do with the storyline, and created a silver egg in the ether. So, what is this egg? He created a silver egg in the ether. According to the actual mythology, let me read what this egg actually is. It says, out of the egg enclosed the gods Phanes and Hydrus, who later gave birth to the first gods of the universe. What does this egg do? It held these two gods, Phanes and Hydrus. Does that sound familiar to you? Remember, we have something similar to this silver egg? The summoning key? It's in holding our 4 character souls in it. Oh my gosh, what if they're relating this Greek mythology to the zombie storyline? Imagine how crazy that would be. That would just be insane. My gosh, this would be so cool. And I would love to see more of this Greek mythology return inside the zombie storyline. And it'd be even cooler because before this, I had no idea who Kronos was. And I'd love to learn more about these guys that these unknown people in mythology was. Because a good amount of people know who Kronos is, but no one really knows who Kronos is. Well, at least I didn't. I'll just say that. Imagine if this is actually saying where the summoning key came from, because we don't actually know where the summoning key's from, because we don't know where it came from. This summoning key is just, who knows where it came from. It just, it's so cool. I don't know, tell me what you guys think. Do you think this could possibly be the summoning key, or is it something else, or am I just making up all this stuff, just seeing 2 main connections and just making up things now? But anyways, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Tell me what you guys think about it. Do you think is that anything about this video, or just tell me what you guys think in general. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys on my next video.